Countless people in Texas are cold, hungry, and alone. They sleep on sidewalks, dig through trash for food, and do whatever it takes just to make it through the night. For them, safety doesn't exist, dignity doesn't either. Hope starts to fade, and survival becomes the only goal. What if the streets you know turned into a place where people use substances just to feel numb, where bodies were traded for a place to sleep, where no one looked you in the eye anymore? This isn't a nightmare, it's real, and it's happening every single day in Houston, in Austin, in the heart of Texas. Sidewalks have become camps, underpasses are packed, tents, trash, and silence fill the corners. Some people cry, some stare into space, others disappear completely. And the saddest part, many people don't even notice anymore. It's become background noise. This is what it looks like when the system gives up on people, and this is only the beginning. Imagine walking through a city where every corner tells a story of pain. A mother holding her child under a plastic tarp, a man digging through a bin for something to eat, teenagers with nowhere to go, sitting alone with their heads held down, trying to block out the noise and the cold. This is what the streets of Texas look like for over 27,000 people. Since 2020, the number has jumped by 12%. In Austin alone, homelessness has gone up by 18% in just 3 years. The sidewalks aren't sidewalks anymore, they're home. They're shelter, they're all some people have. Tents and tarps stretch under bridges and along highways. Some are lucky to have a sleeping bag, most aren't. People sleep inches away from moving traffic, others sit quietly in corners of empty parking lots, waiting for a morning that might be better, but usually isn't. Many of them had jobs, apartments, and routines. Some lost it all in a single month. Others fell slowly, rent creeping up, hours at work cut, one bill after another. But no matter how they got here, they're all living the same reality now. There's no heat, no bathroom, no locked door, there's barely enough food, and every day people walk past them like they don't exist. It's not just about being poor, it's about being invisible, about being treated like a problem, not a person. This is the reality thousands wake up to, and tomorrow more will join them. People don't just end up on the streets for no reason. It starts with one thing, then everything else falls apart. In Texas, the cost of living keeps going up, but wages don't move. A one-bedroom apartment in Austin now costs around $1,800 a month, but minimum wage is still $7.25 an hour, the same as it's been for over a decade. That means someone working full-time earns less than what they need just for rent. That's before groceries, transportation, or anything else. There's no room for mistakes, no space to breathe. Lose your job, get sick, or fall behind on one payment, and you could lose everything. Mental health is another battle many face silently. People struggle with anxiety, trauma, or depression often don't get help until it's too late. In Texas, only about 1 in 3 people who need mental health services actually receive them. Most are left to figure it out on their own, and when life feels unbearable, they turn to whatever numbs the pain, even if it destroys them slowly. For others, the fall started with abuse or family problems. Some were kicked out, some ran away from dangerous homes. All it takes is one bad moment, and without support, it's a fast drop to the bottom. A recent survey found that over 40% of homeless people in Texas said they simply couldn't afford housing anymore. No addiction, no criminal record, just prices going up and income staying the same. Behind every person sleeping outside is a story like this, and most never saw it coming. Once someone ends up on the street, the daily fight begins. There's no routine, no schedule, only survival. People walk miles to find food. They wait in lines hoping for a bed. Sometimes they get lucky, most nights they don't. There's no place to shower, no clean clothes, no safe place to rest. People use public bathrooms to clean up, if they can even get in. Some go weeks without a proper shower. The shame builds up, so does the fear. In Dallas, reports of public intimacy and unsafe behavior have gone up by 20% in just 2 years. But these aren't reckless acts, they're survival tactics in a world that offers no privacy, no help, and no way out. 1 in 5 homeless people in Houston has lived on the street for more than a year. That's 365 nights without a bed, a lock, or peace of mind. Can you imagine what that does to someone? Most people can't. That's why they keep walking, keep driving, keep ignoring. Substance use is common on the streets, not out of carelessness, but out of desperation. For many, it starts as a way to escape. The cold, the hunger, the thoughts that never stop. In 2024, nearly 4 in 10 homeless individuals in Texas were reported to be struggling with substance dependency. The most common are opioids and meth, cheap and easy to find. These substances dull the pain for a while, but they also take away everything else: memories, motivation, health. And once you start, getting clean feels impossible without help. But the help is hard to find. Only 1 in 5 people in Texas who need treatment can actually get it. Still, some people make it out. They find a shelter with a program, they meet someone who doesn't give up on them, and slowly they start to believe in something again. The journey is hard, but it's not impossible. And every success story proves that healing is still possible even in the darkest places. Another part of this crisis most people don't see or don't want to see is the exploitation. Women in particular are at risk. Without a safe place to sleep, many are forced into impossible situations. Some trade their bodies for food, others for a warm place to stay. They're not doing it for money or desire, they're doing it because no one is helping them. In Texas, nearly 25% of homeless women have experienced some form of exploitation. It's a quiet pain, one most never talk about. It leaves behind deep trauma. Some lose their sense of self, others lose hope entirely. But still, some find their way out. They find safety, counseling, a new start. And that tiny bit of support makes a massive difference. The problem is, those resources are limited. Most people don't get that second chance. This crisis doesn't just affect people living on the streets, it affects neighborhoods, schools, and businesses. In Houston and Austin, many local businesses have reported fewer customers. Families avoid certain areas, tourists stay away. The energy shifts, so does the economy. Cities spend millions each year on emergency services, cleanup efforts, and police sweeps. Money that could have been used to build housing or fund mental health programs instead gets used to manage symptoms, not solve the problem. And slowly, the divide grows. People stop seeing the homeless as neighbors. They start seeing them as a threat. But the truth is, they're not them. They're us. They're people, just like anyone else, but with fewer chances and more obstacles. Housing is a core issue, and Texas doesn't have nearly enough of it. Right now, there's a shortage of more than 600,000 affordable units across the state. Waitlists stretch for years, some families never hear back. Meanwhile, some cities are still enforcing laws that punish people for sleeping in public. These laws don't fix the issue, they just make it harder for people to survive. Houston is planning to build 5,000 new affordable housing units by 2027. That's a good start, but people need help now, not years from now. Housing isn't a reward, it's a basic need, and until policies treat it that way, the problem will never go away. This crisis isn't too big to solve, we just have to care enough to act. Shelters, food programs, mobile clinics, all of these things work, but they need support. In Dallas, local outreach teams helped over 1,000 people find housing in 1 year. That's proof that even small efforts make a difference. Studies show that when people get housing and support, 85% stay off the streets long term. It's not impossible, it's just not a priority yet. Behind every tent, there's a name. Behind every tired face, there's a past. A future, a reason to try again. We just have to give them the chance. Every person on the street once had a life that looked just like yours. A job, a home, friends, a plan. No one grows up dreaming of ending up here. No one chooses to lose everything. But once they do, climbing back feels impossible, especially when no one reaches out. If you've made it this far, you've already done more than most. You've listened, you've seen, you've cared. But now it's time to ask, what are we going to do about it? Will we keep walking past tents like they're trash? Will we keep pretending it's not our problem? Or will we finally face it and fix it? Because these are our streets, these are our people, and this story isn't finished yet. Let's make sure it doesn't end in silence.